Hi there, my name is Penny and I am the face behind the website CBD Oil Studio, and I'm thrilled that you have found me. And I'd like to take a quick moment to introduce myself, give you a little bit of my background and how I ended up here researching, educating, and selling hemp-based CBD oil. I'm going to try to talk fast to keep it short, but I'm a licensed occupational therapist. I've treated patients in 3 different states, and I've treated in a wide range of settings. I've had traumatic brain injury. I was on the head injury team. I've treated neurological conditions such as stroke, spinal cord injury, orthopedic injury, and many other medical diagnoses in between. My therapeutic settings range from working in the neonatal ICU with the little preemie babies. I've also worked in the surgical, neurological, and cardiac intensive care units, all the way to general physical disabilities in inpatient rehab, acute care, and then now I'm working in skilled nursing. So I have literally worked from premature babies to aging adults, and I love every single setting that I've been in. But my main job is to help my patients find the most independent level of living that they can find so that they can take care of themselves after they have experienced some sort of a health crisis. My job is to be creative and help them find their new normal. And I just love patient care. I love helping people to feel better, helping people to figure out solutions for their problems. And I think that's why I love what I'm doing right now so much. I stepped out of occupational therapy for a period of time because I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease and I had several surgeries that didn't allow me physically to do some lifting. I'll hit on that in a little bit. But at that point, I became a pharmaceutical rep for a large pharmaceutical company selling pharmaceuticals to gastroenterology specialty, which of course I loved, and internal medicine physicians. So I have the perspective of selling or speaking to doctors in the office with a less acute situation with patients with GI issues, but then I've also had the more intense and severe and acute and emergent experience with doctors and a team collaborating to help patients feel better. So I feel like I have a really wide range of experience there that I love and I'm proud of. I love everything that I've done with my job. I had 3 children, and while I was home with them, I was incapable of sitting still. So I started my own stationery business. For some reason, that was always something I wanted to do. I have 3 boys. That was my girl outlet. So I operated that full time, and I merged with another stationery business, and that was a kind of a part-time, full-time job for 7 years, based in Texas. And when my kids were old enough and in school and I was healthy again, I returned to practicing occupational therapy in the skilled nursing setting. So that's where I am now. But woven into that work history is the big limit in my life, and that was that I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 23 years old, and I've had multiple surgeries. 2 I had before I was married and before I had children. So I was very fortunate in that I was healthy. I was married. I had 3 very healthy pregnancies. But then I had about 18 years between the 2 original surgeries and my last surgery, and I still say it's my last surgery, that I had my stomach removed, 80% of my stomach removed. My Crohn's was in my stomach. So all of that sounds traumatic, and it was traumatic, but I wouldn't change it for the world. The hard part was when I look back in hindsight that on a daily basis, I was raising children feeling miserable. I had nausea, I had vomiting, I had excruciating amount of pain that medicine from the doctors didn't cover. My kids found me curled up in a ball, unable to breathe or move. It was just, that's for the book, and I'm working on a book, and you'll be the first to know. But currently, as I start to write my book, I'm having some anxious thoughts about those times. So it may take longer than I thought. But I know that each step along the way has launched me to the path that I'm currently on as I've grown more comfortable sharing my story. I didn't used to tell people about my health, not because I was embarrassed, because I'm kind of an open book, but I just really never wanted to burden anybody. I didn't want anybody to worry about me or to feel like they needed to take care of my children. I had some amazing friends that if they knew, when they did know, they just came in and took over for us, which was very humbling. But I just never wanted to put everyone out. That was just me. But as I became more as I recognized that I needed to share my story more to help people, because more and more people were being diagnosed with Crohn's. When I was diagnosed, I knew no one. I never even heard of the word. I remember a nurse telling me she thought I had Crohn's disease, and I was like, that's a horrible name. I don't want to have that disease. So I did pray along the way that I be bold and sharing my faith, sharing my story, sharing my entire journey. And that journey involves things that I found that helped me feel better. In the beginning, that was a very specific diet that I went on that got me out of incredible amounts of discomfort just by changing the food that I ate. I also climbed on the wagon for essential oils, which I say that with a wink and a smile, but I am very skeptical. And when I was on biologics for Crohn's disease, it basically removed my immune system, and I had none. And I had the craziest things happen to my body. And I would do my research and I would figure out what oil worked for that situation. And I kid you not, I solved some pretty impressive things on my body using essential oils. So that's when I really decided. I had always been someone who really believed in the MD world and what the doctor says, and this is how it's done. And I really didn't think outside of the box. And when I was able to start helping myself with essential oils, I realized there's really something to this. And as a woman of faith, I know that God gave us a garden, and in the garden, everything is, you have everything that you need. So we have wandered away from the use of plant-based medicine. And plant-based medicine was really how we treated ourselves for many, many years. In fact, there were no hospitals. People would go to the church to get anointed by oils, which is so amazing that we've read that all these years, and now I'm finally understanding what that means. But I digress. But a year and a half ago, a friend of mine introduced me to CBD oil, and it basically changed my life. I got out of completely out of discomfort that I was taking regular medicine for. And not only that, I had no withdrawal symptoms. So it was quite remarkable for me. And because of that, and because of my history, I just kind of started telling my friends and my family, this is what it's done for me. And I know a lot of my friends and what their issues are, if there's health issues. And it became a friend telling a friend, and now here I am, the sharing power. I kind of have a CBD business going, and I didn't even plan on it, but I fully believe that is because I am trying to be bold, and I am trying to share something that can help anyone feel better. So that little part is a little bit funny because I am not real comfortable in this space, being online and being in front of people, and doing live videos is something I had no idea how to do. Last year, when someone told me you really should do a live video and tell your story, I had to stop it and restart it 3 times, not realizing that it was live each time. So this is not my comfort zone, but I do believe so strongly that I can help people that are not currently able to find relief from some forms of modern medicine. So I feel like there are people out there that can benefit from my story, and that's what I'm here to do, to share my story. I haven't quit. I went on spring break in March, and while I was skiing is when COVID kind of hit really big and strong, and I have not gone back to my job as a PRN occupational therapist because I have a son and a husband that have pretty severe asthma, and I really just couldn't justify going back to work and putting them at risk and in harm's way. And what's amazing is how this little side hustle that I kind of laughed at has become a primary source of income for me, and has actually been a wonderful side hustle. And I just love being able to help people. But by starting CBD Oil Studio, this website, it gave me a platform to be bold and to share the research, because I love the research, and it's share testimonials from people also whose lives have been changed, and most importantly to me, to be able to share my health history so that I can be sure to help someone else forge the road of Crohn's disease or any disease. But I do carry a big white flag for people with inflammatory bowel disease. It's a brutal disease, but I firmly believe that faith, family, and you have to have a good sense of humor to get you through Crohn's disease. For all the things you endure, there's lots of times if you don't cry, you just have to laugh. So welcome to CBD Oil Studio. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you'll look around. It is a work in progress as I load content and continued research to the site. as I share my heart through the blog and offer a link at the top that says Shop CBD. I found the highest quality hemp-based CBD oil that I could find. And let me tell you, I have researched probably over 60 brands, big brands, little brands. And you can see there at the bottom how to identify the best and most quality CBD oil. That is so important because CBD oil is not all the same. This company has proven over and again to be the most ethical company leading this billion-dollar industry with the highest of standards for not only for its product, but for our sales team. As a whole, we genuinely care about the customer, and we are fully supported and encouraged by our company and by our CEOs. So I hope that you'll look around, find your way around, and please reach out if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to help.